The following is a presentation of the Sports Stove Media in partnership with Belly Up Sports. Here's what's cooking on the day's Sports Stove Local Hour. We have an absolutely loaded show for you today. So we're talking with Jalen Montgomery, kick returner and running back. We're talking with Gabe Fletcher, the sack machine. And we got Liz Freihofer coming off her incredible debut for EKU women's basketball down at LSU. That's what's cooking on today's Sports Stove Local Hour.
McKinney looks, steps to the pocket, throws, open receiver, touchdown! Colonels, we're not done yet!
Our identity is we're going to press for 40 minutes, we're going to play up-tempo, we're going to play with unbelievable passion, and then our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports.
Welcome in to an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour, presented, you might notice, by Righteous Felon Jerky. Righteous Felon has been with me for a couple of years, helping with the other programs that we have. They've done a few things on this program, too. Well, they're taking over. So Righteous Felon Jerky, listen, we love local, and we love local jerky companies, but local jerky companies have not sponsored our program. So Righteous Felon does, and we sure love them. They are phenomenal jerky, great flavor, incredible texture, perfect for your stocking stuffers coming up here in just a couple months. So check it out, righteousfelon.com, and use the promo code STOVE15. And that might be a change, but one thing that hasn't changed is your host. I'm Vince Stover, joined as I am every week by the one and only Jonathan Duff. Duff, welcome back, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good. We're going to open the show. We're going to give Duff the floor here. Obviously, a sad news last week with the passing of Tex Bailey. And, Duff, obviously you knew Tex. We'll let you have the floor for your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, getting the win, fun in that regard, but not the best weekend emotionally. A lot of people on our team now had played with Tex, and if you ever got to know Tex, he made you a better person. Just through every encounter you had with him, he was a great dude, strong believer in Christ, and we know he's up there in heaven. But just really sad times for a lot of guys going through it, and then also his family and friends. So just wanted to say keep his family and friends through this weekend and the funeral and everything in your prayers and your thoughts, and rest in peace, Tex.
Coach talked about it in the press conference this week when we got a chance to sit down and talk with Coach about it. He's talking about just the emotions behind it all, and kind of just the irony of you guys being in Texas, and the opportunity. It's obviously either way still would have been on your mind, but just kind of how it all worked out in that way. I never got a chance to meet Tex, and never knew him or anything like that. But you look at a kid who graduated, he was giving back to the community, and obviously working hard, and hate to hear it. I know Coach having his own medical situation a couple of years ago, it hits really close to home for him. And he talked about that too. And what was that emotion like going into that game? It was pretty fresh on Saturday morning. So what was that emotion like?
Yeah. Obviously, our plane landed, and that's kind of when a lot of us got word. Obviously, myself and John Stone, Peyton Collins, Vinny Munlin, Pat Nations, a bunch of guys on this roster have played with Tex, know Tex, love Tex. And so I think it just hit home for a lot of us, just like I said, one of the best human beings, leaving the world too soon and everything. And it was really tough just knowing that, our brother was gone, and his family, which in turn is like our family, that we've gotten to know over the years, was hurting. And so it definitely was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, and just really appreciative of, the team. We kind of prayed together before our meal, some of us, and prayed for the family, and just being able to be together was really important through a tough time and a confusing time. And then just to be able to, coaches and everyone just showing support to each other and being there for each other, and kind of talking through it with one another. Cause I think that's what's most important, is just not only the prayers, but also just being there for one another when a loved one passes so soon like that.
The closest of a locker room, it's there at every level, but would you say the college locker room is tighter than a high school locker room, or what would you say that relationships, I guess, are like at that college level? Is it different than other locker rooms you've been in?
I would say in college, it's really unique. In high school, it's really unique. High school, a lot of those guys, you end up growing up with and going to school with and stuff like that. But then you look at college, and I would say at least, I would say for college, you go through a lot of harder times with one another, you go through, first of all, not only just physically, like more demanding times, but also emotionally and just becoming a man and stuff like that. So I think each locker room is unique, but I think the more years, obviously it's different now with locker rooms change now, dynamics with transfer portal and stuff like that. But that group, our group now, we have a lot of guys who have been together for a while and been here for a while. And I think that just has really bonded us close. And also you pair that with the continuity of the coaches have been here now 5 years and we've been here 5 years. So just that continuity and all that, I would say this locker room is incredibly close. Probably the closest I've ever been in.
Well, obviously the win meant that much more with the dedication to Tex, and it was a big win. I mean, you guys were, I talked to gracious, now I don't remember who it was I was talking to, whoever at the press conference this week on Tuesday, and I just asked that, backs against the wall, you guys know it going into this game. This is, at this point, every game is a must-win game for you guys to be able to take a road trip to a number 7 ranked team and go out there and just really control the ball game. I mean, every step of the way you guys controlled it. And game was close, of course. And but the win, I said this on Twitter, it was not pretty, but the win is all that matters. It doesn't have to be pretty. Who cares? As long as you guys get the win. What was that energy like, when the game finally was done and that celebration in the locker room?
Oh, that was incredible. It was just, good to finally go on the road and get a win because we hadn't done that yet. And we talk about that, we want to be undefeated at Roy Kidd Stadium, but when you go on the road too, you got to excel. You got to go through, you're in a different time zone. You're down in Texas, a lot went into that trip in general, but the emotions were high. It was great. And we don't fear a close game. We actually thrive in it. If you've seen over the past years, we're not a stranger to close games. And so just to win that way was pretty awesome. And then also just, like I said, and like you said, we know our backs are against the wall and everyone's hungry for it. And so we're not going to sit and pout about the situation that we've been put in from the past games leading up to this situation that we're in. But we're going to be glad and we're going to go make the most of this opportunity. So moving forward, same position still. So just got to flush that one and keep moving forward and taking each week like a life of its own.
Pat said it probably comes in second to Bowling Green, but still a really, really exciting game. Would you put it in that same order?
I would put it up there. I would put it up there. It's hard, especially when you experience, fifth year, and I told you, there was one point, in 2 season span, 19 of the games were decided by 1 possession or less. So It's hard to pick favorites when one, you just we love winning. So it's hard to pick a favorite win, but also just thrillers. We're no stranger to them.
So I was fairly vocal on Twitter during the game, saying something. I don't regret anything that I said, but saying some things along the way. And I want to make sure it's clear for those who follow me on Twitter. I'm 100% with the program, for the program, support of the players on the program, all that kind of stuff. I did mention, if you're only going to throw the ball 11 times, it might make sense to have Cam out there. That being said, I gave Matt his props because Matt did stuff in that game that he hadn't done yet this season. He ran hard. Coach said he earned more respect. Not that he didn't have the respect. He earned more respect by his physicality in that game. What was that like around Matt Morrissey after the game?
Yeah, he did the job that needs to get done to win. You know what I'm saying? As long as you win, you're doing the job. And I can take it back another week to our game against Utah Tech. You see him hand the ball off to Josh and then go be a lead blocker several times. That's the kind of person that Matt is. He'll do anything he needs to do to make the team win. And I think that big play He had a number of big plays, but I think the way that he conducted the offense in that big play where he trucked that DB and, like you said, his physicality, I think that sparked the offense. I think that sparked the team. Big momentum plays like that are so crucial in a ball game and so crucial to capitalize on them, and we did. And so, I think Matt played an incredible game.
Yeah, and I said that I gave him his props on there as well. I didn't want to bash Matt. I wasn't bashing Matt. Obviously, coming into the season, we were told you got one quarterback that's better at throwing the ball, and you got one quarterback that's better at running the ball. They can both throw, they can both run. You got one that's their strength is whatever. I mean, like I said, the win's all that matters. At the end of the day, that's all I care about, that you guys get the win. You're able to celebrate. I think that's awesome as well. The one thing I did not put on Twitter, but I will admit to everyone watching tonight, is after Josh scored that touchdown, there was two minutes and change left. I looked at my wife and I said, it's too soon. I said, they're gonna go down and score. This is gonna be a heartbreaking loss. That plane ride is gonna stink. I admit my faith was not there. And the defense held, man. And why do I doubt the defense? I have no idea. The defense has been great this year. I'm so happy for you guys. And you guys had this. I mean, we're going to talk to Gabe in a second. 2 big sacks. They had the interception by DJ. I mean, there was some really good plays. The interception by Mike there at the end. I almost had Mike on just to talk about the near fumble after the interception, but I said, no, we'll let that one go. I'm sure he was told next time just sit out.
That's the first play. That's the first play we watched in our
oh no,
as a team.
But at the end of the day, the job got done, and that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you said too, DJ Galva comes in a big point as a freshman, big game on the road, backs against the wall, like you said, and he goes in and makes a big play. And Maddox Marcellus also had an interception. We got Tyrell Green on the O-line. I mean, we talked about it before. These freshmen that come in now, they're seasoned vets at this point. You know, you're far enough into your career now. You got to step up, and they are. And like you said, the defense has been lights out all year. I can't really speak more. I mean, 13 points at halftime, second half shutout. We controlled the time of possession on offense. Just exactly what you want, complimentary football right there. And the defense has done a heck of a job.
They have. And you know what? There was a point where Tarleton chose to throw the ball several times, and not the last drive. The last drive they probably should have. I think they should have. But earlier in the game, I sat there going, why are they not running the football? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Obviously they felt like they could throw it and succeed. They did not succeed. And it was a fun experience to watch and cheer on. And I know you can't tell us what was being said, but it sounds like that student section was a little raunchy this week down there in Tarleton.
Yeah, they were pretty chirpy. A lot of student sections are. They definitely enjoyed. They definitely enjoyed saying certain things, and it was fun after the game. After we won, anyways, you know, we got the last laugh. So whatever they want to say, we don't really. I mean, usually tune that out pretty well, but occasionally you might hear something. But yeah.
Well, I saw Jeremiah waving by, and there was some stuff that we saw on TV. But I know Coach mentioned, he said this was he talked about needing the crowd this week, and he said you guys have experienced some pretty intense student sections this season so far. So
100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into our guests here tonight. We're going to start off with the running back. He's a redshirt junior. Came to us from Middle Tennessee State University, which is where I grew up. And so excited to talk to him. First year at EKU. He's the return man for EKU as well. He has done a phenomenal job with that. Let's bring him in now. Jalen Montgomery. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing very good. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. Appreciate you being here, and welcome. I haven't talked to you yet, so welcome to Richmond. I know you've been here for a while now, but how you feel like you've settled in here at EKU?
I feel like I settled in good. Really got to know my teammates and the things that make them go, and I think I've settled in pretty good.
I would agree with you. Yeah, that. And filling in as coming in and winning the job at the return, you're filling in for or taking over for B. Sloan, which I know you didn't play with him, but it was lofty shoes to fill, and the return game has not missed a beat at all this year. What do you like about that role as being a return man?
Really just the aspect of putting it all together. You know, a lot of guys up front, they lay it out on the line for me to succeed. So just putting it all together for those guys and, you know, playing as a unit.
And we're starting to see you get a few more snaps on the offensive side too. Obviously, Josh is running back one in the room, but we're seeing obviously Latham, yourself, starting to get more opportunities as well. Are you starting to feel like you're getting really close to breaking through, having a little bit of a bigger role on the offensive side for this season?
Oh yes, sir. One of those runs are gonna break. One of them's gonna break. It's just being consistent and understanding this in God's time, and then when it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Ryan, who co-hosted with us for a couple of years, that was one of his big phrases is, it's my time, it's our time. The guys are taking their opportunity now. And if you're patient and put in the work, it's obviously going to play out and work well when it's all said and done as well. Duff, what do you got for Mont?
Yeah, Mont, what up? After obviously I'm a special teams guy, and I did a little homework on you, Mont. I see. Am I correct? First, tell me if I'm correct that your first ever college touchdown was a punt block, scoop and score touchdown. Is that true?
That's correct. First ever.
Man, so you've made a name for yourself not only at Middle Tennessee State but also EKU as a special teams weapon and beyond just the return game. Like you said right there, you scoop and scored a punt block. You're on kickoff. You've been on punt. Talk about how important special teams is to being a versatile player, but also to the team.
Yeah, I mean, any way you can affect the game and make plays and impact the game, whether that's field position or what, you want to do it. So I think just understanding that everything matters and just really loving the game of football, you're going to want to play. You're going to want to be on as many special teams as possible. So, I mean, I love the game. So if I can affect it not just on kickoff return the ball, going down on punt, making a tackle, I'll do it.
100%.
Yeah. Congrats on that first tackle too, Duff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hadn't gotten there yet. We were going to get there, I promise, and we still will. Elite athleticism there by Jonathan Duff this week. Jalen, in your time at MTSU, you made an impact early on special teams. As I guess it was a sophomore, redshirt freshman. You were the scout team special teams player of the year. What is it? I mean, just the idea of being able to earn or get that time. It's being on the field, right? It's whatever you can do to be on the field. You just talked about how can you impact the team. Was special teams something like in high school as well? What do you have a burden for special teams, or was that just the opportunity you were given?
I think I've always played special teams, mainly like punt and kick return, but I came up playing defense. So like I always wanted to be on kickoff and all that. So once I got the opportunity to play gunner, it's just doing what God's blessed me to do with my abilities.
Yeah. Now, again, I grew up in Murfreesboro. I was there 26 years. And first of all, did you ever eat at Slick Pig?
I did. It was right down the street.
Yeah. Phenomenal smoked wings there.
Yeah.
If you're ever in Murfreesboro.
Yep.
The crowd, though, MTSU was never known for great crowds. So let's not bust on MTSU too much. But now at EKU, is there a difference in the home game atmosphere, or was it a good atmosphere when you were in Murfreesboro too?
It was a good atmosphere while I was at MT, but I think here the city really loves EK, and it shows with how many people come out to the games. So I'd say it's definitely louder, and it's definitely you can tell the fans are invested in Big E. So
I love it. All right, Duff, what else you got for Mont?
Yeah. Also, we talked about the split carries with Josh, you and Latham, and you even got Telly there. It's been this way for a while. We talked about how our running back room is one of the most loaded rooms on the team, if not the most loaded room with talent. Talk about how you guys feed off one another, each other's energy, and just help each other on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, we all want the best for each other. So just being that first guy off the sideline to give a handshake, it goes a long way. And I think also in competing, like, we all want to play. So I think just compete with those guys, watching them do good. Of course, I want to do good, and it's vice versa. So.
When you're returning, what are you looking for? Are you hoping the ball gets kicked a certain way to a certain side or a certain spin, anything like that? What's the mindset of a return man? What are you looking at when the ball's coming?
Well, now I'm looking for hopefully it gets kicked to me. Now that's the situation I've been in. But I mean, I don't really think. I'm kind of just present in the moment, and in my head I'm just saying make a play. And when the play presents itself, I just trust what I'm seeing and the guys up front to make their block. So
right now you're averaging 26.5 yards per kickoff return with a long of 54, and then you're averaging 8.6 on the punt return with a long of 23. Do you ever go over on the possessions that didn't end up in points on these long returns? You had several of them that were good returns. You ever go over, come on, guys, like, let's get it in the end zone. What are we doing here?
Yeah, one's on me. I got tackled by the kicker, so that's on me. I know Duff was smiling. That's why, but that one's on me. Yeah, it's a couple of them I feel like I could have done a little more, especially with like the lanes these guys are creating. I feel like it's a couple of them I should have scored on.
What about what's more embarrassing, being tackled by a punter, kicker, or long snapper?
It's got to be that kicker, because the long snapper, Duff's the first one down.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like the long snapper can make the play, but the kicker can never make the play. That's just like, that's Cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I can understand that. Then you said you came up playing defense. Is that something that you would ever go over to Coach Johnson and say, hey, let me get some run over here?
I got to make a couple more plays before I can try that. before I can try that with Coach. But I've been wanting to play both sides of the ball.
DB, is that what you played?
Yeah, DB. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Duff, if you're running a one-on-one route against Jalen Montgomery, you getting the catch or he's shutting you down?
I'm not getting the catch. I'm not going to. Usually I would go the cocky answer, but I'll just be realistic here. There's no way.
Yeah, you'd have to box out or something to make
it
happen.
That'd be a screen out or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for sure. Duff, you got anything else for Mont?
Yeah. So I kind of have talked about you before on this podcast and about just kind of your mentality when you came in. I mean, instantly when you came in the weight room, not only was your work ethic obvious, but you were vocal and you were there encouraging others and leading others and stuff like that. And so what were you kind of looking for when you first hit the portal in a school that you were coming to? And talk about just your mindset when you came in here.
What I was looking for in the portal was just really a home, somewhere that, you come in with a fair chance to just play, just impact the game. So that's the first thing. And secondly, I was looking for a place where I could really grow. Like I feel like at MT, I came in young with the same guys, so my mental was kind of still there. But I feel like when I hit the transfer portal, I really wanted to be a place where I can grow, not just playing ball, but, as a person outside of football. And I think with the culture Coach Wells has here, I think that's the biggest reason I came here. And that's for, like, in the weight room with you guys. I mean, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but I wanted it to be known that, like, let's work, like, let's keep the main thing, and let's try to get after this playoffs.
Definitely.
Jalen, you guys got another home game. You're undefeated at home so far this season. That was one of the goals coming in. Obviously, this team is a really good team coming in this weekend, Central Arkansas. What have you seen so far about them, and how you think you're going to be able to attack them this week?
Yeah, they're a good team. They're disciplined, and I feel like the way we can attack them is just being us, really, really executing and doing our jobs, and not really going to their level, but forcing them to get on our standard. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right, awesome. Duff, anything else for Mont?
I'll give you one more.
Okay.
You got a touchdown dance planned, or?
Oh, it's something in mind right now.
Okay, so it's in the books here. We're working on it.
Yeah, it's something.
I like it. Let's see it.
So when
I'm in the car right now, so I can't.
No, I got you. Let's see it on Saturday. How about that?
Yeah, I got you on Saturday.
So we went through this with Ryan last year. He had 3 sacks in a game, and he ran out of celebrations. He didn't have 3 planned. He had 2 planned. He didn't have 3 planned. So are you using the same dance for multiple touchdowns in a game, or if you break a couple touchdowns, we're going to see something different? I can't hear you, but Duff, can you hear him?
I said it's gonna be different. It won't be the same.
Okay.
It won't be the same touchdown dance.
Awesome.
I think
Awesome.
It's good to switch it up, have fun with the fans. So
definitely. All right. Jalen, man, I'm glad that you're here. You're having a great season so far on the return game. We're starting to see it more implemented in the offense as well. We're getting excited to see where that grows to. Big game this weekend, of course, on Saturday at home as well. Jalen, thanks for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Jalen Montgomery, return man at EKU, and crushing it. Absolutely crushing it this year. It's a blast to watch. I'm excited that he could join us here tonight. Next up on the show is a guy we've had before, and it's something I battle with. I like to get different guys on the show, make sure we're getting lots of guys some airtime and all that good stuff. But when you have a 2-sack game, you just can't ignore it. And so next up on the program is defensive lineman Gabe Fletcher. Gabe, are you there, man?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Camera. Oh. Is it better?
Well, I can hear you. I just can't see you. And we brought you on for your pretty face, Gabe. Hey, do you want
to back?
Yeah, go out and come back in, and we'll see if that works.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back with Gabe Fletcher. Duff, we got time to talk about your tackle. I didn't bring it up earlier, but it was there. I actually rewound the TV. I was like, wait, was that Duff? Rewound it, watched it again. Sure enough, rewound it, videoed it, and exciting times, right? It's not your first tackle, is it?
No, it's I don't know. It's my second one recorded in the stats. I'll say that much. I like to think I have a few more assists than what it says.
Sure.
But I also think this was my first tackle recorded in the stats was just like a nudge out of bounds. It wasn't really a tackle.
I got you.
But this was my first real wrap up and would have been a solo, but Brady Hensley came in and delivered a blow. But I made sure to let him know I had him on my own, but he delivered a nice blow there.
Brady's so selfish. We got Gabe now. There he is. Gabe, that tackle by Jonathan Duff this week. Did you take some notes on that? Some tips on how to wrap up people?
Yeah, I made sure I tackle the ankles just like Duff did. So they
Gabe, it's good to have you back, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to be back.
Yeah. 2 sacks can't be ignored, my friend. Big game for you this week. Big game for the team, of course. But we've already talked about that. So big game for you, man. How's that 2-sack day? The 2-sack day feeling?
At the moment, it felt surreal, and I was happy about it. But I'm trying to get 3 this weekend.
Yeah. This is a big one, right?
Because if I get 3, then I'm on track. I'm on track to get to my goal. Because my goal is to get 10, and I'm only at 3, so I'm close to it though, but not too far.
Yeah. And how many? I didn't look it up. How many career sacks do you have?
3
for your career.
Yeah,
I thought you had at least one coming in. Okay, well there you go. Well then, you've tripled your any season performance so far. Absolutely crushing it. And you're tied with Gabe now for first on the team in sacks. By the way, have you gone up to Gabe and Gabe Stevens? Have you gone up to him and let him know, hey, we're not going to be tied for too much longer?
No, he actually been coming up to me saying that we're not going to be tied too much longer. But I'd be like, of course we're not, because I'm finna go get him. He's saying we're the most productive Gabes in a whole universe.
I love it.
Yeah.
We were talking.
Get 2, but I said I'm gonna get 3. I got it.
Yeah. Well, you got 1 in one game. Now you got 2 in one game. So 3 in one game makes sense, and then so on and so forth. Me and Duff were talking about just the camaraderie that's built. We were talking about the passing of Tex and just having that support of your teammates and things like that. I know you guys have been around for a while, but what is the team? It seems like this team's really tight.
Yeah, actually, I was going off what I'm gonna go off what Duff said earlier. This team is like the tightest the team has ever been. I don't know what we did over the summer. I think all those finished Fridays and the ravine dying over there just built us all together. It feels like, you know how like Army feel like there's a brotherhood. We feel like a whole army of soldiers, well soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you, this defense, what you guys are doing right now, especially if you go back and look at the past 2 years, the improvement, not all the same coaches, of course, but Coach Johnson's still there. Coach Wells still here. A lot of players carrying over as well. What can you say to the growth of the defense and just the immense improvement that you guys have shown this year?
The one thing I'm gonna say is that we're not afraid to take accountability. So like on the sidelines, we point each other out. We're like, hey, we gotta do this better. You gotta do this better. And it's not no me's, no I's. It's we's. We gotta do this together so we can be a team. Other years it'd be like we'll have independent contractors, but now we're not an independent contractor. We're a whole unit. Like we all want to see each other get better. From the guy on the bottom of the depth chart to the top of the depth chart, we all want to see each other improve. And we all want to get we all believe that's the best thing. We all believe that we're fitting with the playoffs and win the whole national championship.
Yeah, and that plane ride home had to be a whole lot better than the one from Utah, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. The Utah one was kind of quiet. This one, I met the President McFadden. Yeah, I kind of met.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay, President McFadden. I got you. I was like, wow, man, that was quite the week for you. Yeah, shout out to President McFadden. Never been on the show. We had him locked in once, but it fell through last minute because he's kind of a busy guy. But shout out to him as well. Go ahead, Duff. What do you got? I'm taking up all the time. What do you got for Gabe?
Gabe. So obviously you've been here 5 years. Rhino's been here 5 years. D-Bake's been here 5 years. Marv's an older guy. Jeremiah's an older guy now. Talk about how important is that camaraderie that you guys have built in the middle, and how does that help you guys succeed on the field?
First of all, I want to shout us out with the Honey Boys, with the Dog Pound. I love us. Our camaraderie is crazy. Like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, those are all my brothers. Like, I believe those guys will be in my wedding if they all show up. But, like, we believe that in our heads, we're the best unit on the team. So we have to step up and stand up for the team. So, like, we all know that what our flaws is and what we're best at. So we're going to try to put ourselves in the best position. Like, it was crazy. For me to get my second sack, I was sitting on the sideline, and I think it was Marv, Jeremiah, and Ryan was like, we gotta get Gabe in. So they calling themselves out just to put me in. And I'm not gonna lie, anybody else would have just kept themselves in that situation and been tired, like, oh, I'm gonna just try to do it even though I'm tired. But they said, no, get me out of here. We gotta get some fresh legs, somebody else in. And so I love that we can all take accountability and know that what we gonna do, well, who's better in which situation, and that we love each other enough to just say, hey, just go do that.
No doubt. That's special.
Now, are we burying the lead here? Are you getting married? Like, are you engaged?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. You're just saying when that time comes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a licensed minister. If you want me to come perform the wedding, man, I'm here for you.
For real? Vince over to be my priest at my wedding is crazy. Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself a priest, but I'll still come to your wedding. Yeah, man. We'll talk later. You can come this week. I'm having Thanksgiving dinner at church this week. Come on out. Actually, for real.
It was an interview after the wedding, a post wedding interview.
There you go. Yeah, live. Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll have to talk to your future wife about this at some point, but I like it. I like it nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, you guys have hit on it. We've had this defensive line has been together now. Everyone has been there at least multiple years. You guys, some of you have been together for many years. And you guys are playing like it. You're playing like you trust each other, like you know each other, like you love each other. And it's coming through in what you guys are doing, performing up front. I know, Ryan talked about a couple of weeks ago, just, the need for himself. He wanted to get in the backfield more. And then he talked about the defense putting points on the board. And, well, you guys did it the next game. And then now you get 2 interceptions this week. You got some sacks as well. Seeing that production at every level of the defense, that's got to give you guys the confidence to go out there and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it gives us a lot of confidence. Like, there's no doubt in our mind. I think we have the best defense in the nation, especially in that red zone. Nobody's gonna score when we in that red zone. So I don't know. I think we're just dominant as a whole unit.
Which is crazy when you look at all the injuries you guys have had too this year. Not to mention, Ryan's taking a nap every game as well, it seems like, out there on the field. So I like to give him a hard time about that. I mean, you look at that linebacker crew, especially that inside linebacker crew. I mean, my goodness, beat up to shreds, yet here comes Maddox, here comes Braden, here comes Caden. Like, it's just next guy just steps up and does what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I actually love that. Like, I call Caden my cousin because he looked like my cousin. So, like, I love that no matter what, we have somebody back there that's going to step up. Like, I think Vito Tisdale, he got hurt, and then we put DJ Gavel in. So, like, I really love that. Like, we just really, everybody's together. So, like, we all got the same mindset of where we're going to go.
I love it, man. Duff, what else you got for Gabe?
Yeah, I'd say a dream come true is to be in a Division I football game in game-winning time and be put on the field. So you kind of already told us that, the D-line was telling coach, you got to go in. But walk us through on that play that you got that sack, man. Like, what did you see? Were you thinking pass? What were the emotions in real time, if you can remember?
All right, so it is crazy because I do remember it is crazy. So I got subbed out for Gabe Stevens to get in, and he jumped off sides. And I was sitting on the sideline looking dead at it, and Coach Johnson was sitting next to me, and he, like, opened himself up like this and said, "Go get Gabe." And I'm a religious man, this Duff. So I'll be praying that God uses me to show his glory through the way I play. So I prayed that before every game. And then I felt something come upon me, and I blind down, and I said to the offensive tackle, because he had a big face mask. I remember this because his head was so big and his helmet was so small. So I said to him, I'm trying to get played the game this week. And he ain't hear me. And I said it again, and the ball snapped, and I don't know, like, something took over my body. I don't really, because the move I want to do is not the move that is what I did. So I'm just happy. Like, it worked. Everything is planned out for me.
That's awesome. That's great, man. Are you typically talking to the tackles?
Sometimes it really, because, like, I talk in practice. So if I don't talk on the field during the game, it just don't feel right. So if I talk on the game, it's just gonna feel like practice. And I'll be practice.
But is it just stuff like that, or is it? Do you ever get a little trash talk, or what's the conversation like?
It depends on who it is. Some games they're too locked in, so I have to tell a joke to get them off their game, and then that's gonna give me a head. Or some guys, I just feel like I'm just absolutely murdering, so I say, "Hey, you trash," and then get in their head. I just feel like I can get in other people's head when I talk. So I just try to see what's that nick to give me that little 1% of edge.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
No, but first one, Jeremiah Bailey. Now that guy's a troll. I love him.
And Jeremiah's been watching, by the way. He called you out, Honey Boys, as well. It's awesome. Duff, anything else for Gabe?
Yeah, while we're talking about trash talk, I can't speak to you doing it in the game, but I maybe have heard you in practice. Can you give us at least an example? Let's say you're lined up on field goal block and Jonathan Duff's at snapper. What kind of things are you saying then?
I'm trying to run through JT Duff head. Long snappers does not exist. They don't have no value. We're trying to kill a long snapper.
This is true. I can attest to this. Gabe every single day lines up across from me. That's what I hear every day at practice for the first period of the day.
I love JT though.
I love Gabe. OG.
Oh, and when they do the huddle, oh my gosh, that gives me the clearance to hit him. I want him to feel football.
Yeah. All right. So this week, Central Arkansas. Obviously, it really feels like since 2020, this has been the biggest rival that EKU has had. And you guys, played them twice in that COVID year, and then now they're in the conference, all that good stuff. So big game at home. They're coming off a massive loss, an embarrassing loss, to be quite honest with you. So I've got to imagine they're going to come in just dialed in. Gabe, what's the mindset going up against Central Arkansas this week?
Well, it's this mindset that we have for everybody. We're finna dominate. They think they're finna come in here and take whatever, but we're gonna derail that train whatever they got going. And I really hope that number 27 comes because it doesn't feel the same. Like our D-line coach said, it's not gonna feel the same without him in the game. So like if you beat the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes, you didn't really beat the Chiefs. You beat the Chiefs. So that's why we come. We want everybody. We want them to be at their best, and we're gonna come and dominate and come to fight because that's what we plan on. We plan on having three hard fought games for the rest of the year, 15 rounds each time.
And I'm glad you brought that up. This is the last question because we got another guest waiting. But I saw that 15 rounds thing on the social media and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there going, I don't understand. Then the press conference came this week. Coach talked about it a little bit more. He said he showed you guys some videos and stuff like that too. But I was sitting there going, I don't think you guys are old enough to really be boxing fans, are you? Like, did you understand before the videos came what he was talking about?
Yeah, not so much the first two videos, but I'm absolutely huge Muhammad Ali fan. So when he put that the day before the game, it got me hype. I was watching Muhammad Ali the whole day before the game, but it really makes like I get it. Like I get that. Like the first video, those guys came out swinging, letting us know that everybody's gonna come out swinging once the whistle blows. The first period, everybody does because you got excitement, you got adrenaline running. But he showed us the next one. It was like guys taking blows back and forth. One dude got knocked out, he got back up. The other dude got knocked out, he got back up. But they're taking blows. And then the last one was not Joe Frazier. It was Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston, and that's the one he knocked him out. When Sonny Liston couldn't take it no more, And Sonny Liston was winning that fight, And on paper, I'm going back to last week because that's what the 15 rounds came from. On paper, Tarleton was supposed to be the team that was supposed to dominate us, but they threw the towel in like Sonny Liston, and we Muhammad Ali. We're going to show them how great we are.
I love it. I love it, man.
For the world, actually. The world.
Yeah. The honey boys of the world. I love it. I love it. Gabe, I appreciate you, man. I'm so happy for you and the success that you're having this year, success the team is having, of course, as well, and excited to watch you get 3 sacks this week against Central Arkansas as well. So, dude, shout out to you. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for coming back on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Gabe Fletcher, defensive lineman, EKU football, absolutely killing it this season. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right, guest number 3. We're rolling right along, Duff. This is a loaded show. I mean, this is ridiculous. Whoever started this show is an amazing person. All right, let's bring on guest number 3 of the night. She is a freshman at EKU playing basketball, had a great debut down at LSU. And Duff, I'm a massive EKU women's basketball fan. Love what they do. And we're bringing in Liz. And Liz, I should have asked, and I forgot to ask Alex the correct pronunciation of your last name. Is it Freihofer?
Yes, Freihofer.
All right, very good. Liz Freihofer joins us now. Liz, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Appreciate you coming on tonight. And the season has finally started, right? You've been here for a while now, practicing and getting ready for the season. How much of a relief is it to actually be playing real basketball games now?
Oh, having the games kind of just break up our week of practices is super nice now. It makes the weeks go by a lot faster, and it kind of makes everything we've been practicing for kind of worth it now that we actually get to go out and play another team.
And first game of your college career is at LSU. What is that experience like?
I mean, yeah, not going to lie, when I saw that on our schedule, that's who we opened up with, I was like, wow, like it's quite the way to start, the college career. But I mean, and it's an experience like no other. Like I'll definitely never forget that game. Just the entire environment was insane. We're playing against some of the best talent in the country, one of the most well-known coaches. So it was super cool.
And Duff, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I was talking with Coach Todd, let's see here, a week or so ago. And I was just asking him, hey, how are the veterans doing? How are the new girls fitting in? All that kind of stuff. And he said, Liz has been such a pleasant surprise. She's come in here. She's going to play a lot of basketball for us. And they knew you were talented, Liz, but you really came in and proved yourself very quickly. So what did you do? What was the mindset you had coming in as a freshman into a team that has a fair amount of veterans on it? What was kind of your mindset coming in?
Yeah, I kind of knew in all sports at the Division I level, it's really hard to play as a freshman. So I just kind of came in with an open mindset, trying to be a sponge, just taking in all the information I can get, trying to get extra advice from coaches. So I was just doing that, trying to pick up on anything I could for the team so I could help them in any way that I could.
Yeah, and very quickly you scored, I think 9, right, against LSU this week, which is pretty exciting, of course, as well. And I'm intrigued to watch as the season goes on, as you start playing teams that are, maybe not cutting the university a check. I'm interested to see how those games go, and I'm excited to see. I personally voted you guys as 3rd in the ASUN in the media poll this year. No disrespect to you guys. I know FGCU is going to be a beast of a team to deal with. But nonetheless, I know you haven't not even close to ASUN play yet, but what kind of research have you done on the conference and the talent you're going to face this year?
I mean, I think everyone knows that Florida Gulf Coast is just a really, really talented team. I mean, they play like Power 5 schools. And I mean, last year they beat UK by like 20 or something. So they're just a really talented team that have been at the top of the conference for a while. And I also knew they had some other talented teams, like Central Arkansas was really good and Lipscomb was good. So I'm really excited to get to ASUN play and just see how we match up against those teams.
Yeah. Duff, what do you got for Liz?
Yeah, obviously freshman year, and you've been here for a semester. Or this is the first semester, I guess. So as far as just practicing all summer with your team that you have now and then getting into games, what's the biggest adjustment just becoming a freshman and that you've had to deal with going from high school basketball to college basketball, and the biggest differences?
I would say the biggest difference is probably just how physical everyone plays. I mean, you go from playing like 16-year-olds in high school to playing some like 24-year-olds in college. So just everyone's a lot stronger and faster and more physical. So just trying to catch up over the summer and in this preseason has been kind of what my mindset has been, just getting stronger, trying to get faster and catch up to those girls.
Now, I didn't know this. I should have read this beforehand. But your uncle was John Schlarman?
Yes.
Duff, did you know that?
I actually, now that you say that, might have known that. I did know that Joe had a cousin on the basketball team, so nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
That's crazy. I did not know that. Now, your family has a lot of ties up north in northern Kentucky. When you were trying to find a college, and what was it, I guess, that brought you to EKU versus the other options that you had?
When I visited here, I could just tell kind of like the team dynamic was it was pretty much like a family, and all the coaches were there to help the team in any way they could. So that's what really drew me in, and especially how close the girls were. I definitely just wanted to be a part of that family. And then also a big factor was my cousin Joe. He had committed here, and I thought it'd be really cool. We've been super close growing up, so I thought it'd be really cool to come here with him. So
that's awesome. So your high school career was pretty good. You've got some accolades, 1,000-point scorer, all-time assist leader at your high school up in Union, and you got all these things that happen. When was it that you realized D1 basketball was an option for you?
I would say probably like late into my sophomore year, early junior year, I started to get like recruited, started talking on the phone with some coaches, and I realized, this was definitely something that could be in my future if I wanted it to be. And I really love basketball and all the memories it's given me and all the friendships. So I decided, I definitely want to continue that in college.
That's cool. And you played tennis also, your biography says. And so was tennis something that you thought you could also excel in at the college level, or did you kind of just commit to basketball?
If I'm being honest, I was terrible at tennis. Me and my friend played doubles for fun, just kind of on the side. We decided to do it freshman year of high school, and we just played the whole 4 years. But we were never great. It was kind of just more of something to do for fun in the spring.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's a good attitude to have about it. No doubt about it. With your team. So I've covered the team pretty closely the last several years, and seen the ladies come and go, and I hated to see a few transfer out too, but Alice has been the constant, and she's been there obviously, and she's kind of, I would assume, a culture setter there in the locker room as well. But she's not the only one. I mean, you've got Althea, who's from Australia. So what I'm getting at is learning to have these kind of cultural connections now, different cultures. Maybe you had it in high school too, but was there any adjustment to that? Just the locker room being maybe a little bit more diverse than a typical high school locker room?
There wasn't a super big adjustment. I always thought it was really cool that I always loved Alice's accent. I thought it was so funny. And sometimes she says words like funny and I'll give her a hard time about it, but there isn't like a huge adjustment there just because everyone's super welcoming and, just willing to work with whoever. So,
yeah. Duff, what else you got for Liz?
So for me being from Ohio, I come down to Kentucky and I didn't realize how huge the sport of basketball is in Kentucky. So obviously you're born and raised in Kentucky and an incredible basketball player. Talk about what basketball means to this state and how competitive it is growing up in the state of Kentucky.
I mean, yeah, Kentucky basketball is something that you definitely know about if you're from the area and even outside of the area, like especially the UK basketball men's team. They've just always been a powerhouse. So it's kind of meant a lot to the state of Kentucky. I know all throughout high school, it's been super competitive. And, the goal was always to make it to that Kentucky State tournament, the Sweet 16. And my team was able to do that 3 years, which was super fun. And so also just staying home in the state of Kentucky to play for college has been awesome because I get to represent my home state and just play for something more than just basketball. So,
no doubt.
Did you play against or with any of your teammates in high school?
I did play against Savannah Gardner, the other freshman here. She has a torn ACL right now, so she's recovering from that. But we did play each other in high school. I think it was like a scrimmage or something. And then I also played against Briaria Cannon, who's another freshman here. We played each other in AAU ball.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Briaria is down in where I grew up, is where she's from. And so I haven't got a chance to talk to her yet, but I'm excited at some point to connect with her about Murfreesboro and central or Middle Tennessee area. So you freshman, Briaria, I was at practice a couple of days back before your LSU game Saturday, and was really impressed by all of the young girls that were out there practicing. Yourself, Briaria, and not Savannah, but who else am I missing? Maya as well. And really impressed with you girls out there. I mean, you guys look like you belong. Did it take you long to feel like you belonged out there on the court with the other girls?
Not really. All the upperclassmen have been super just welcoming and willing to show us like kind of the ropes of how they play and how they play as a team. So it's been a really easy adjustment going from high school to college, and they've all just kind of welcomed us and really just shown us the ropes and just shown us how EKU women's basketball operates.
It was your strength. I mean, obviously you were shooting threes the other night. Is that your strength? Would you consider that to be your strength?
I would say, yeah, that's one of my biggest strengths is being a shooter for the most part.
Because I sit here and I watch, Althea and we watch Caitlin and just the speed sometimes with some of these girls is nuts. But not everybody is that. And so you got to find your role and fill that role on the court. Do you feel like this team is very complementary as far as when the pieces are on the floor together, they fit really well with each other's strengths and weaknesses?
Yes, definitely. We all had kind of a chance to figure out our role now, and everyone's kind of just willingly took on their role, whether that is, being a passer, being a driver, being a scorer, being a rebounder. Everyone is just kind of fully taken on their role, and which really just helps the team as a whole.
And the personality of Coach Todd, he's one of my favorite people in the world. He's not a very loud guy. Are you used to that? Was that your high school coach? Was he similar, or is this a change of pace for you with Coach Todd?
This was a little bit of a change of pace. My high school coach was a little bit louder, more likely to yell at you, and not in a negative way, just kind of more disciplined like that, where Coach Todd is very laid back and chill, and he'll tell you what you did wrong, but it's kind of more in a passive aggressive way. So it was a little bit of adjustment, not exactly what I expected, but still great. I love Coach Todd.
And of course, Coach Brown is there for when Coach Todd needs a louder voice. She's very quick to speak up, as she did on Saturday at one point. And the experience that Coretta Brown has and the WNBA, college basketball, all that kind of stuff. I just feel like that's such an advantage for you girls to come in and have someone who's been there, done that, and done it at the highest level. What kind of stuff are you able to learn from Coach Brown at this point so far in your early career at EKU?
Yeah, I've been super lucky. Coach Brown has kind of been like a mentor to me this entire preseason. She's sat down and watched film with me, and she really notices like the little things that make like really elite basketball players very good. So she's kind of just shown me like what I need to work on, how I need to fulfill my role on the team, and how I can impact winning. That's one of her biggest saying is, how can you impact winning? Not necessarily scoring all the points or playing a bunch of minutes, just impact winning any way you can for the team.
I love it. Duff, anything else for Liz?
Yeah, like I said, first semester here. What's the best? Let's say, what's the best place on campus that you've been to so far? What's your favorite place on campus?
Favorite place? I'm pretty basic. I like the Starbucks here. It's great. It always gets me my coffee when I need it. I mean, you can't go wrong with Starbucks. I'm with you.
That's Vince, fun fact about me and Pat, that's our Friday of a home game ritual. So we'll be there tomorrow. That is our yep.
Good to know.
There you go. If you want to see Jonathan Duff in the wild, you go to Starbucks tomorrow. Yeah. What's your hobbies, Liz? I know right now it's school and basketball, but when basketball season's out, what's kind of stuff you like to do to kind of let loose?
Me and Maya, one of the other freshmen here, actually took up pickleball a little bit in the preseason before we got going, and we played with Coach Todd and some of his friends at the country club nearby. So that's been a lot of fun. We've done that a lot. I also love to shop, the basic. You got to. Retail therapy always helps. So
I love I guess it was last season, maybe, I forget. I was talking with one of Coach Todd's pickleball friends, Miss Lori Larkin, and we were chatting, and she goes, "Oh yeah," she said, we play pickleball with Coach Todd." And actually, all these people knows, everybody that sat courtside were pickleball players with Coach Todd. I thought that was hilarious as well. Is Coach Todd good at pickleball?
Oh, Coach Todd is really good at pickleball. I did not expect him to be as good as he is. He has this really good like spin serve that it pretty much gets me every time, but he's really, really good at pickleball.
I figured he had to be, because the people that he plays with are super competitive. And so I figured he can't be bad because they wouldn't want to play with them. So he does not come across as someone who'd be great at pickleball, but he is long. I mean, he's got long arms and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Too.
When he's at the net, there's no getting around him. You pretty much just accept defeat at that point.
All right, so Duff, if you had to pick one of your teammates to play pickleball against Liz and Maya, who you going with?
Oh gosh, I'm going to say Pat Nations.
Yeah, it's got to be Pat.
Yeah, just because I feel like I've heard him talk about it before, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. Pat Nations is just really good at the most random sports. Golf, darts, if that's a sport, pool. Pickleball would be right up his alley somehow. So I'm going to say Pat Nations.
We'll have to set this up at some point after the basketball season. Outside of LSU, where you've already been, where are you most excited to go this year in the basketball season?
I mean, I'm really excited to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
We get to go there like right after finals week, the start of winter break, and we're there for 6 days and we only play one game. So I think it's really cool that Coach Todd schedules those trips, kind of more like experience trips that, the whole team will probably remember forever. So
have they told stories about their trip to Alaska or Ireland in the past?
Yes, I heard stories about the trip to Alaska, how they were dog sledding and they all ended up with frozen eyelashes. So they all love that trip.
Yeah. You won't experience that in Hawaii, I don't think. But
no.
But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for sure. Then you guys don't play a official home game until like January 11th, I think. You are playing at Berea. You're playing Friday, tomorrow night at Berea. I have a game myself that I can't go to that one, but I was there for the guys game this week. It's a nice gym. Have you guys been in that gym yet?
We actually practiced there today, so we got some shots up on those rooms. So
yeah, but I know that as far as college experience goes, you don't have anything to base it off of. But what's it like knowing that you don't really have a true home game until January?
I mean, yeah, we're on the road a lot this non-conference season, so I think it'll be cool to experience different places playing big arenas like LSU. We go to Michigan State next week, so I'm just trying to take in all the traveling experiences before we get back to alumni.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to things being back to normal again for sure. But like I said, the Berea gym's nice. And I know you guys are playing at Transy a couple times as well. But some big games. Hopefully people will come out and cheer you on. I'm devastated and I'm the one that schedules the games for my program, but still I'm devastated that I can't make it tomorrow night to see you guys out there. I might pop in for a couple minutes after our game's done because we're actually playing in Berea as well. So might make it over there for the second half or something, but nonetheless, Duff, before I close out, anything else for Liz?
I don't have any more questions, but congratulations on getting that first game under your belt. And sounds like you had an amazing performance, and just good luck the rest of the season. Keep building on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Liz, we're happy you're here. We're happy that you chose the Colonels, and excited to see you this season, especially, and see kind of how this team does. I'm high on the team. I've been huge on Coach Todd and the talent that he's brought in. I like that he's got a good nucleus of freshmen this year that I think can really grow together and throughout, their careers at EKU as well. Obviously a couple girls are graduating this year and that's going to be tough on the program, but I like what he's done and bringing you guys in. I think it's going to be great for down the road. And I'll say it again, listeners, you got to go out and cheer on these ladies when they're in town. I know I love Coach Hamilton. I love the guys team. I know they've got their mantra, most exciting 40 minutes in sports. I do not have more fun than when I'm watching EKU women's basketball. I think your guys' style team is just a blast to watch, and I think people need to come out and support you guys. So, Liz, we're happy that you're here. Congrats, like Duff said, on game one under your belt, hitting some shots there, and good luck the rest of the way as well, and hopefully we'll see you around here in the near future.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Liz Freihofer, EKU women's basketball. And I'm telling you, Duff, they're a fun team. They're an exciting team. And I'm really looking forward to see what they do this year. I think they can be really special. Florida Gulf Coast, for the record, is phenomenal. So that's the one. If you're going to buy a ticket, make sure it's for that one, because we're going to need to be really loud for that game, because they're going to need all the extra home court advantage they can get. Their hands will be full, and not to say they can't beat Florida Gulf Coast, but they're right there with everybody else in the conference. They can beat everyone else. FGCU is going to be a tough one, so that's a big one. Make sure you set your calendars now. Go find that game, get your tickets, and be there to support these ladies out for that. All right, Duff, man, we've had a big show following a big week. Not your first, but your big tackle by you. Your parents were ecstatic. I know they were excited about it too. Pat, we brought it up with Pat at the actually he brought it up at the press conference this week as well too. So it's yeah, man, it's news. But big game this weekend, right? Central Arkansas. I mean, they're all important. I know that. This seems like, man, if you guys can get through this one, those goals are really just on a platter for you guys. And I don't know, man. I asked Coach Wills this. You guys coming off a big win, them coming off a big loss, sometimes that could be a bad collision. But do you feel like this locker room is ready for the next game?
Yes. From the players, from the leadership of the players, from the coaches, everyone's aware that you can go be great and have that high point and, get a win, but everyone knows how important it is to recalibrate it. And like we've been saying, want to know each week. And so just making sure, that we had that 24-hour rule of celebrating the win and then flushing it and making sure we're getting in, studying Central Arkansas and moving forward. And I think we did a really good job transitioning in that this week. And so feel really good about just getting the opportunity to go play in the kid.
Do you feel like the 24-hour rule is easier on road games because you have that flight? It's out of town. You don't have that. There's a little bit more of a break, I guess, from the game to the next day versus just wrapping up at home and going back to the apartment or the dorm or whatever. Is it a little easier that way?
Yeah, I guess that, I never thought of it that way, but when I think about it, like I celebrated my butt off and then I kind of knocked out and fell asleep on the plane and then I wasn't necessarily celebrating anymore. So yeah, I guess you could say that for sure. But like I said, with senior leadership and guys who have been through the ups and downs of college football before, and the way that we've just, like, beyond just the coaches, the players have poured into the other players, just keeping focus is what matters. And like you said, it's kind of echoed all around college football. I've heard Nick Saban talk about it a bunch on College Game Day. Sometimes coming off a big win, well, you just got to make sure to recalibrate it and go 1-0 that week. And so I think our focus has been there, and I'm just excited.
Yeah. So this weekend, second to last home game. This is going to be my last home game. Duff, the 23rd, I have basketball games in Louisville, and I will not be around for that game. So I'm soaking this one in this weekend. I'm going to be late to this one for what it's worth too. I got something else church-wise going on that I can't make it on time, but I will be there. And for most of the game, and excited about it. Massive game. It's a salute to service game as well this week, recognizing military men and women. Of course, Veterans Day this weekend as well coming up. So a lot of things happening. Big game starts at 2:00 afternoon kickoff. I know, Duff, you like those versus the night games. So we got that happening for you this week. Number 16, Central Arkansas. And we need the crowd to be there and be loud throughout the game as well. And let's make an impact as much as we can from the stands. We know at the end of the day, it comes down to you guys, but we can play a small role as well. And then Austin P, got to go flush the P the next week. And then North Alabama, who's had a really good season this year. They've been really tough. So they'll be the senior day game on the 23rd. I have not looked. I know soccer was playing tonight, and they're in a tournament time and stuff like that as well. So, I know I don't cover everything, but make sure you keep up and support these student athletes as best as you can. All right. So thanks to everyone that came on tonight. Jalen Montgomery joined us earlier. Gabe Fletcher, Liz Freihofer. And if you missed any of those interviews, go back and check it out on YouTube, or you get the Sports Stove Media Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever there is, we're on it. Thanks to Duff as always, man. Appreciate you as well coming on and jumping in. And I know this week was a emotional week, ups and downs this week. And so appreciate you though being here as always. And we'll be back next week. We are going to, I don't know who we're going to have because we're going to wait till the game's done, but we're going to have some more great guests next week. And we're going to have a good time with it as well. Check out righteousfelon.com. Get yourself some jerky, buy some, get some for you need to test it out so that you know what flavors you're going to buy for stocking stuffers. I suggest the bootleg and barbecue, my favorite flavor they have. But go to righteousfelon.com, promo code STOVE15, get you 15% off your purchase. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour. Until next time, we'll see you around the sports